She offers guidance, strategies, and the hands-on implementation necessary to help business owners create a solid foundation, which in turn allows them to do what they are meant to do, drive business results. Her core values include integrity, resiliency, and fun in all aspects of life. Please welcome Lotte.
When Cinda asked me to speak to the entrepreneurs, I thought, you know what am I going to talk about? I want to take a very short, simple quiz, and then in true Toastmasters fashion, who's a Toastmaster in here? In true Toastmasters fashion, I'm going to let you decide what I'm going to talk about. So that is putting me on the spot with coming up with the topic for today. So what I'd like to do, I'd like everybody to take one of these self-employment assessments. It's a very quick assessment. It's 12 characteristics of a great entrepreneur. And I would just like you to mark it how you personally feel with the characteristic, either low, average, or high. And I'd like you to just go and check the 2 lowest ones that you would like to have some support with. And whichever one visually I see has the most check marks, I'm going to spend my 10 minutes talking about that. So the top 2 were financial insecurity and self-promotion, which is absolutely no surprise. So, financial insecurity, and it was no surprise to me that this is the most significant one for everybody. It is number 1 on my radar as well. And when I went into this business, I was a single mom. I was raising 2 boys. I had come from a really big safety net to nothing. And it was one of the most frightening experiences I had ever had in my life. But it was one of the most important decisions that I was making for my future. And one of the things that I did from when I made the decision to go into the business, I did an exercise that I called awfulizing. And awfulizing, again, looking at the risk, but awfulizing is looking at your business, where you are now, and really identifying what is important to you. Why are you making this leap into this business? For me, it was I wasn't spending enough time with my kids, and I have one chance to raise them right. So it was really important to me that I was able to be at home. I've learned as an entrepreneur, I'm not working less hours, I'm working more hours, but I'm working them around my kids, which is fabulous. The other thing is I had worked in a corporate environment for many years, and I just needed to get out and do things that I couldn't do in that environment. So from an educational perspective, being a lifelong learner, I really wanted to learn. So when I looked at these were the goals, this is why I was doing this, 2 major things in my life. The awfulizing part was, oh my God, if 1 year I don't have any clients, that's the awfulizing part, right? So that was the first thing. The other thing that I strongly recommend, and you will learn this everywhere, and you do this for yourself, I'm sure, is setting goals for yourself. Again, goals can be, and you would learn if you're part of the Burn program or Donna's program or other programs, set monthly, weekly, monthly, and quarterly and annual goals for yourself. They may not always be financial goals, but they may be networking goals. They may be dance card goals. They may be business planning goals. They may be marketing goals. They may be getting your website up and running goals. Because these are all goals that will help you create the financial revenue that you want to have in your business. The other thing is, maybe is it appropriate to get part-time work? Okay. And part of the thing that I've done in my business to absolutely support my business is I've taken a part-time job with a hospital. And the reason I've done that is very important for my career and my business is that my experience in human resources is in phenomenal organizations that are non-union and private sector. Working in the hospital, I can now work in public sector and unionized environments. So that's very important for me for my learning and my career. So those are things that you can do from the perspective to help with financial insecurity, because that is the number 1 paralyzing thing for most entrepreneurs. The second biggest item we had was networking. And I can tell you, because I'm also a career strategy coach, that when I'm working with people who have lost their jobs, networking for them is no different than networking for all of us in here. And you have master networkers in this room. Networking, and you've heard this before, it's not about the business card, it's not about what you can do for me, etc. It's about relationships. We're all really good at relationships. So we have to understand that networking is just about building and nurturing the relationships and getting to know people on an intimate level. And intimate is as intimate as from a business professional perspective, letting them know what's really in your heart, because you know that any of the relationships you have that are worth anything to you are because you stay connected, you give as much as you receive, and sometimes more. So networking and genuine networking is just about building those relationships. It's about your stories and your connections. And the biggest one that everybody's really afraid of now is LinkedIn or Facebook and how to build relationships on social media. And I just, I say this from a career coaching perspective as well. The best way you can do that is don't think of it as a computer in front of you. Think of it as it's just another relationship that I have to nurture. Nurture your online relationships as you would any other relationship that you have here. I think Donna's dance cards are a fabulous way the way you describe that was so eloquent, Donna. Just the way you can get up there and just talk to people and find out what's interesting about them. That's how we build those relationships. So I want to say thank you very much for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure. And I'd be happy to, if you want to continue with any of this, happy to come back at some other time.